Yo, what's happening, guys? Coming at you from downforsoundshop.com, and in this video we are going to be answering the question, what is the difference between a subwoofer that is specifically built for a sealed enclosure and a ported enclosure? But first, my name is Jonathan Price, owner and operator of downforsoundshop.com and this YouTube channel, which is two of the fastest growing things in car audio. If you will, hit that subscribe button and enable notifications so you know every time we drop a video, and you'll get it sent to your inbox and you'll be able to check it out first. All right, so let's get into this, and this will be fairly simple as well. So we have two different subwoofers in front of us, the SUNDOWN Audio SLD series. These happen to be the slimmer style subwoofers, but we're going to use these for the example. So on this side we have the SLD 10, and over here we have the SD4 10, maybe a 12. I don't know, it's hard to tell, but it still serves the same purpose. So each of these subwoofers are, well, you can tell by looking at them that they're kind of different, but the biggest difference is, I don't recommend doing this, but if you push on this, on the cone assembly, you see how easy it is to push down? Very soft suspension. You can easily push it over, and you can hear, if you push to the side, the coil will touch the former in there, or the pole piece. On this one, I can push down on it and it's a lot more stiff, so it has a lot more control, which usually, so this one is going to be for a ported enclosure. Ported enclosure, you're going to have a vent or an opening in the subwoofer box, so it's going to move a lot more freely. The SLD series, they come in 10s and 12s and dual 2s and dual 4s, but they are able to be made, they're a shallower depth, but not super shallow. Like this one's a little bit more shallow and has a smaller motor on there to be used in a wider range of enclosures. It's going to be a sealed enclosure, but you can have the box be right up against the back of it because it's sealed on the back, and the venting comes out the side of the motor right here. So even if you built the enclosure where it was flat against the table like you see here, it would be fine because the venting is out the side of the motor. So, and you also have cooling up here in the basket. I know I kind of skipped away from the SLD and started talking about the SD4. So this one's going to be more for, or only for, a sealed enclosure. That's the reason it's specifically designed for a sealed enclosure, because it's going to have a lot more control and back pressure on the subwoofer to help control the cone assembly and not tear itself apart. These are really good for lows too. The FS on these is like 28 hertz. So if you like low bass and you want to do it in a sealed enclosure where it takes up a small amount of space, this is a great subwoofer. So that's what a sealed enclosure or a sealed subwoofer that's specifically made for sealed is great for. Soft suspension, it's going to get good throw. It's not going to handle a ton of abuse or overpowering because, again, it's got the softer suspension. But if you're looking for, say for instance, a good example for a system like this would be two of the SD4 series subwoofers, and you can put them on a JP8 or a SFB 1000, SFB 1500, somewhere in there, and you would be golden. It's not going to require a ton of power to get loud because they're not going to take a lot of abuse, but the power that you do put on them, the RMS power, I think is 500 or 600 watts, is going to get them moving the way that they need to, and you'll be golden there. If you're looking for something that's going to work, that's going to be a little slimmer, but it's not a typical like pancake sub. So you can have pancake subs that usually sound really bad. All the pancake style of subwoofers, which is going to be about this deep, like minus this motor, it's going to be about that deep. They're not going to sound good. I haven't heard any that sounded good, so I would recommend, if you can, get one like the SLD that's going to be able to sound good in a ported or sealed enclosure. So this one features a little bit stiffer suspension, well, a decent amount stiffer suspension, still 600 watts RMS, a sealed backplate. So you're going to be able to, just like this one, you're going to be able to mount this up against like a box like that. Say that's your box right there. You can mount it up against there. It's going to be fine because you have the venting in the side of the basket right here to be able to cool it off. But the reason why Sundown made this is because some people have like under seat boxes in trucks or like slim style boxes, and some of them port them, some of them make them sealed, but this one will work in either one of them, and it's going to have a lot better control. So you can probably put a little bit more power on the SLDs because they have that stiffer suspension. It's going to be able to handle the power. So if I was doing 2 of these, I mean, you could still do a JP8, but you could probably get away with like a SFB 2000 or a JP23. It might be a little hot for a couple of them, but if you paid attention to the clip meter and everything, you'd probably be fine. So with a stiffer suspension, like I said, it's going to be able to be in a ported enclosure and still be okay, because it's going to have the control to not destroy the cone assembly and everything if you put a little bit more power on there. Anyway, that's going to be the video for the difference between a sealed subwoofer that's specifically made for a sealed box and then a ported one, or one that can go in both. Appreciate you joining me. If you have any questions about car audio, you can drop them in the comments below. If I see them, I'll try to answer them for you. We'll see you in the next one. Later. What's happening, guys? If y'all enjoyed all the hot content that you saw in that video, be sure to follow me on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram under the Lifer Price, and also Down for Sound Shop on Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget Snapchat. I'm JPD4S on there, so be sure to check me out there. We'll see you in the next one. Later.